Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So do me a favor before we get started. I need for you to hit this like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need for you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss the episode. Also, check me out on IG, elevation_mentor. So, how is everyone today? Did you have a good day today? So today we're going to talk about credit scores. And I'm going to tell you how I raised my credit score 4 points in 30 days. So you may be like, 4 points, big deal. What's the big deal about that? Well, this is a journey that I am on to improve my credit score. One of the journeys that I'm on, I will mention. So credit score is up by 4 points. It is currently a bing, 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 682. That's the number, 682. The interesting thing about that is when you look on Experian, it says 746. So the number that Experian reports is different from the number that the lenders are looking at. The lenders are looking at a different system than what you're looking at on Experian. So Experian is 746. According to the lender, it is 682. So up 4 points. So how did I do it? Well, it all comes down to credit cards and credit card debt. So they're looking at your credit cards as one of the indicators for your credit score. So the general consensus is to keep it to keep utilization to less than 30%. That is the general consensus. Keep it less than 30%, right? Well, turns out the general consensus is wrong when it comes to your credit score. So the lower your balance on that credit card, the higher your credit score is going to be. So initially, when I was talking on prior videos, my goal was to get it to less than 2%. So I did that, debt less than 2%. That increased the score by 18 points. However, what I did was I paid it to 0, right? So after I paid it to 0, that's what increased my credit score by 4 points. So what I learned from that is you're supposed to be paying off your credit cards to 0 every month. All right. So that's the nugget I got from this. Every month you're supposed to be paying your credit card off to 0, and you pay before the closing date. So it's not the due date, it's a closing date. So I called and asked, when is the closing date? And then, so I have this date on my calendar. This is a closing date. And the person I talked to told me that they look at it 4 days after the closing date. So I don't wait till I get to the closing date. I pay off frequently. I pay frequently so that when it gets to the closing date, it's manageable. So I pay on it frequently. When it gets to the closing date, I have that date on my calendar and I notice, okay, this is around the time they're going to be looking at my credit. So for example, the 15th of every month, that is the closing date. But he said 4 days after that closing date is when they take that picture and send it to the credit bureaus. So I know that on the 15th, they can be looking at it on the 15th. They can be looking at it on the 16th. They can be looking at it on the 17th, or they could be looking at it on the 18th. So around that time, I know that's inspection period, and it should be paid to 0. So that's a nugget I got out of it. I used to think that you should never pay your credit cards off in full, because they will close your account. And that is true in some cases, but the only difference is your account will remain open as long as you keep charging things on it. So pay it off every month, but then you use it frequently, and then that's how you keep it open. All right, so that is the nugget. So why is that important? Like, who cares about 4 points? 4 points, that doesn't sound like anything, right? Well, when it comes to real estate, um, getting loans for real estate, that is one of the barriers, is your credit score. I am going for the DSCR loan. DSCR loan, they want to know what is your credit score. So the difference between a 680, for example, and a 640, for example, is the difference between paying 20% down versus 30% down. And that's thousands and thousands of dollars. That's thousands and thousands of dollars difference just because you have a higher credit score. And that's why it's important. So, do you want to pay 30% down? Or do you want to pay 20% down? And they base that on your credit score. And that is why it's important. So, that's the DSCR loan. They care about what is your credit score. In terms of a HELOC, some people pull equity out of their home and get HELOCs, for down payments on investment properties. And most HELOCs want you to have a 680 before they even consider you for that HELOC. So that's one of the barriers, is the credit score. So I am at 682 currently. I think when I began this journey, I was around 640. But of course, I thought it was much, much higher because I'm looking at Experian. That's telling me that it's in the 700s. So that's why it's important. So I am going to keep going. I'm going to keep going with that, finding different ways to raise it. And I'm kind of learning as I go. So that's a pretty good nugget. You're supposed to be paying it down to 0 every month, as long as you keep it active, like you're still using it frequently, and then they're not going to close your account. And that's one of the ways to keep a high credit score. Did you guys know that already? I mean, there's absolutely no information out here. Just figuring it out as you go. So I just thought I would share that with you because it's really important information, especially if you are on this journey of building wealth with me. Is anyone on this journey with me? I know some people you have already obtained it and you're watching me. If that's you, email me and I'm going to interview you, right? So you don't have to just watch me and to see what I'm doing. You can actually come on the show and share with the audience what you're doing. All right. This is for the people who have already achieved wealth. Even people who have achieved financial freedom, email me. So freedom and wealth are two different things, as you know. So financially free, you are invited to come on to the show. Wealthy, you're invited to come on to the show. And my email is below. So that's where I'm at right now. I have just crossed that 680 mark. That's one of the barriers, is the credit score. So you know what the next barrier is? Debt to income ratio. That is the next barrier. Now, with a DSCR loan, they don't care about your debt to income ratio. That's a good thing. But with things like HELOC products, they do look at debt to income ratio. So that's one of the things that is a roadblock. They're looking at how much debt do you have. Let's see, things like student loans. Student loans, personal loans, prior HELOCs. They're looking at things like that as roadblocks to lending you money so that you can build your wealth. And it doesn't matter how much money you make. You could be making six figures and they don't care. All right. So this is the world of real estate investing. There are roadblocks out here, and I'm sharing my journey with you. And I'm going to keep going with this credit. So the more I find out, the more I will come and share with you. And if you would like to share with other people, feel free to share in the comments below. Right? So as you know, this is a finance channel. We talk about investing a lot. Investing is important for building wealth. It's different from credit. But if anyone is watching me and you are not in the stock market, feel free to join this wait list. The link is below, and join the investment group. All right. Also, check out this pin link below. Look around and see what's going on. I need for you to sign a petition. You are going to scroll all the way to the bottom and see the word petitions. Click on petitions and sign it. Sign the one that says filmmaker Emmanuel Lee. So there's something going on that has not been revealed to the public, but it is pretty horrific, right? Yeah, it's interesting to be in something that the public doesn't know about. So I have no idea why God chose me, but apparently God chose me for this. So do me a favor before you leave. I need for you to hit this like button and hit the subscribe button. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Stay encouraged and keep going, no matter what it looks like. All right. Love you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.